I am T M TLADI, a young female in this engineering profession, a young mother, a young wife, and I work for the Department of Civil Engineering in Tshwane University of Technology as a lecturer. I joined TUT in 2016. Before I joined TUT, I worked for the Department of Water and Sanitation. I did my in-service training with them in 2012, and upon completion of my national diploma, I worked with them as a candidate technician from 2013 to 2015. When the journey started, let me start it from in-service training. It was quite intense and it involved a lot of adaptation. Those of you that are in the civil engineering profession, I think can attest to what I'm talking about. At times, you need to move around construction site, and that was a major adaptation that I had to do. I remember I like using this example, being taken to a construction site in Koffiefontein. I didn't even know that such a place exists. That place was so cold. It was so remote. There was no public transport. I didn't have a car there. And it was so difficult to find, that homey environment. And the people that I left with from Pretoria were all male. Sometimes you'd want that female friends around you, and you're so far away from home. But then the exposure that I got was really something that I would say it was worthwhile in my career. We were building and balancing them there, and I got to get an understanding of because it had even a lab. We had a soil lab there. We had um, concrete works. We had surveying exposure there. You had so many welcoming team. I mean, people also from the environment, the area around were so welcoming. But it was something that was a major shift in my life. I never thought I'd be in such a place, and I never thought that it was going to be so hard for me to adjust to that. And it was preparing me for the life of going from place to place. When I joined the department in 2013, I worked for hydrological engineering, and I was based in a national office. We mainly focused on calibration and design of gauging structures. And being sitting in the national office, you have to coordinate the regions, and every now and then you go to different gauging weirs across the country. And that skill of adapting to different environment, which I got during my in-service training when I was sent to remote construction sites, came in quite handy because one moment you'd be sent to KZN, the next moment you are in Cape Town, the other month you are in Mpumalanga. But that was not just a travel experience. I got to understand the hydrology of our country. I got to, even when I now started with my master's studies, some of the information was much easier to find. And when I analyzed my result, having in the back of my mind, I remember I worked in one of the basins that I have visited in my work experience with the Department of Water and Sanitation. So everything seems to have complemented each other. Um, and in summary, what I can say, the industry exposure really brought to my attention the need for people skills. It's not so difficult to get the technical skills. I mean, you've got books in place, you've got people that your managers, your supervisors that you can always refer to. But at times it becomes difficult to even approach people to help you with those technical skills. I mean, Um, this I cannot overemphasize how important it is. You need to approach people, like I said, to get that information every now and then, especially when you're running project. You find that the information at times it's scattered, and if you don't have the skills to approach people, sometimes as when you are young and still new in an organization, you get a bit scared of what will the reaction be. But then that's a key skill to have. Nobody was going to harm you. And what I would like to say to the young people in this environment, um, just doors are open. It's just a matter of you knocking on those doors. So don't let the fear for what people are going to say be a stumbling block to your next level, to you reaching your goals. And it's something that when I also got to academia as a lecturer, tried to emphasize to my students that this thing, these people's skills, is not something that you overlook. When we are saying work in teams in your project, it's exactly the same thing that you will find when you get to the industry. You always need information from the next person. You always need to get somebody's perspective, and that is how we tend to uh, uh, come up with much more credible designs, much more credible products, because now they've been viewed by different people with different expertise and different looks. So that's what I want to emphasize in terms of my journey. These people skills, don't undermine them; they are very important. And how I survived COVID, one of and it came in again adapting during this like I said earlier on, my major challenge was adapting to this construction environment, this male dominated um in this male dominated industry. It came again. I needed to we all have seen how we were required to adapt to this COVID 19 work environment. We need to quickly shift from offering lectures face to face to doing them online. But what helped me in surviving the COVID period was engaging with people that are in the same shoes as me. We had, unfortunately, our HOD tried to make the departmental meetings more frequently so that we can share some of the best practices. And that was quite helpful. And also among our colleagues, we also shared our best practices among ourselves. You can choose a few colleagues that you're much more comfortable with working with, and share with them what it is that they are doing. So again, this people skills is featuring in. So it helped me also survive this COVID season. And we also had another program. I remember the Women in Leadership program that TUT was offering. That was very helpful to be seated with women that are faced with the same challenges that I'm faced with. I mean, you have a toddler in the house, especially during level 5. You have a toddler in the house, you still need to deliver, the house needs to be clean, and there's no domestic helper at that time that was allowed in the estate where I am staying. So it was chaotic, but again, it took um, negotiating with your partner, your husband, or whoever you're sitting with, how you exchange those responsibilities. So that is how I think this whole COVID thing helped me also realize how important it is to have people's skills managing conflict, because that's one of the things that popped out a lot. You and your partners or your um, family members are not so used to being around the same place for 24 hours. So it comes in now to that emotional intelligence and all these skills that are needed to work with the same people. You don't have that break from work, to to home. You all seated in the same environment. But and then to young females, there is a need for you a dire need for females in academia. I mean, I'm talking here in my department, I'm the only young female, and I would like to plead with you to take up this opportunity to be one day come and lecture in our department. It's not such a boring job. It's some of you may view it as a future being a teacher, but there are also other aspects that you can look at, things like you can become an industry consultant. You can also focus on your research. So, guys, it's not all dull and boring sitting in front of students and all that. And there's also a lot to learn from your students and about yourself. That is one thing I have also observed with working with my students. So, and then one last word, please. One of my favorite aspects of people's management is diversity and inclusivity. And I would like to conclude by one of my favorite uh, quotes that says, it's not necessarily a quote, something that I came up with that goes as follows: that our diversity lies, our strength as human lies in our differences.